A single note can be played many different ways if you're playing it on a guitar. You can pick a note, hammer onto it, or pull off to it from a different note. Tap it, bend up to it, or slide into it. Each note has an opportunity to be played with flair by using a variety of tasteful tricks. We can give a note some vibrato, hit some notes harder than others, and we can also use something called a harmonic. Harmonics can be really useful for guitarists because they can highlight pretty much any note by giving it a shiny, sparkling, high-pitched ringing sound. This neat little trick can be executed in multiple different ways, and I'll cover some of the most fun and essential types of harmonics in this lesson. So grab your axe and get ready to learn some of the coolest guitar effects that can be played. First, you're going to need to equip yourself with an optimal tone setup. While harmonics can be achieved using clean tones or even on an acoustic guitar, I strongly recommend using distorted, high-gain guitar tones. Sufficient distortion will make your tones more sensitive to harmonics, so it'll be easier to hear them, play them, and feel them. If you're wanting to learn more about this kind of stuff, or you're finding it hard to dial in the right tones that you're chasing after, pause this video right now and download my free Elite Tones cheat sheet that I've linked in the description. It gives you my best tips on how to dial in custom guitar tones to your liking. I happen to be using an amp simulator right now, and this cheat sheet happens to give you my best hacks on how to make digital guitar amp sims sound like physical, authentic amplifiers. It even includes direct links to some of my favorite free amp sim plugins. Again, it's my free gift to you just for watching. I think it'll really help with this type of material that goes along with this lesson. So just click the link in the description or go to zacksharguitar.com and grab this awesome free resource. So the first type of harmonic we're going to cover is natural harmonics. And natural harmonics are pretty much fixated to certain positions on the fretboard. They can be played on any string, and you'll have the most success playing them on frets 5, fret 7, and fret 12. To play a natural harmonic, a lot of emphasis is on your fretting hand, where you want to take the padded portion of your fingertip and gently graze the string, any string you choose. In this case, I'm going to use the G string, and I'm going to gently graze that G string right over the fret wire of the 5th fret. And it's kind of a knack. You'll have to play with the amount of pressure you apply to it. But all you got to do from there, once you have the correct amount of pressure, is just pluck that string. If you press too hard, it'll just sound like you're picking a regular note. And if you're too delicate with it, it'll sound more like you're plucking the open string. So you want to use just the right amount of pressure to get that shiny, shimmering, ringing sound. And like I said, you're kind of stuck to frets 5, 7, and 12 for this. You can get some success if you're like super precise with it on fret 4. But otherwise, you're kind of limited to those spots. Unless you use tapping harmonics. I have a whole separate video I made a little while ago that goes into more detail on how to play those. But basically, all you have to do is apply that same concept with that fret distance of 12, 7, or 5 frets away from whatever note you play. So let's say we're going to play fret 5 of the G string here. And from there, I'll take the pad of the fingertip from my picking hand, and then I'll use the concept of a natural harmonic, but with this hand over fret 17. Another workaround to the limited positioning of natural harmonics is to use pinch harmonics. And one of the coolest benefits of these types of harmonics is that you have more freedom with them. So you can play them on pretty much any note, and you can add even more flair to them by giving them vibrato. With pinch harmonics, it's a similar concept of just grazing the string, but instead of having the emphasis be on your fretting hand, it's actually going to be on your picking hand. So we're just going to stick with fret 5 of the G string when we play this. And what you're going to do is when you pick a note, you're going to gently graze the string with the side of the thumb of your picking hand. Getting used to the right amount of pressure for this is even more significant because it's easier to mess these up, and that's why a lot of guitarists have a harder time with pinch harmonics than they do natural harmonics. So you can start just by plucking your note and then getting used to just approaching that string with that part of your thumb of your picking hand. What helps to really sustain the harmonic is to add some vibrato to it. You'll get to the point where you want to eliminate that delay between plucking the string and grazing it with that part of your thumb, so that way it's instantaneous. You'll have to play around with the positioning of your picking hand to find where you get that extra spark, where the harmonics really pop. You'll have to experiment with this, and I tend to have the most success with this when my pickup selector is down, so that way I'm relying on the bridge pickup. And when I'm in this position where I happen to be playing the 5th fret of the G string, hitting that harmonic with my picking hand sort of near the neck pickup, but on the side of it that's closer to the bridge. Again, you'll have to play around with it because different notes on different parts of the fretboard may require a little bit of movement along the body of your guitar with your picking hand. So as I've mentioned, one of the cooler parts of pinch harmonics is the ability to give those notes some vibrato. But what if you want to give natural harmonics some vibrato? Well, if you've got a whammy bar on your guitar like I've got on this one, that can definitely be achieved. So I'm just going to hit a harmonic, or maybe a couple harmonics actually. You can hit a couple natural harmonics on the same time. In this case, I'm going to use fret 5 of the G and the B strings to hit my harmonic. And from there, I'm just going to use my whammy bar to give those notes some feeling, some expression, and see, I might be feeling kind of crazy with it. I might be feeling, like giving it more of a subtle effect, but it's really up to you how much expression you give or don't give to those notes. In that instance, I pick those harmonics, like I would any other note by using my picking hand. But if you want to hit a natural harmonic and give it some whammy bar action pretty quickly, you don't even have to pick the note. You can just rely on your fretting hand. And when I do this, I'm just going to pull off from the 3rd fret of that G string. I'm not even going to play that note. I'm just going to pull off and then instantly hit that harmonic with the tip of the ring finger. There's a whole bunch of whammy bar variations you can do, like flutters and dive bombs and that sort of thing. And I have a video that goes into detail on how to use some of those really awesome whammy bar tricks. And you can apply the harmonics concept to that if you've got a guitar with a whammy bar on it. The power to add a sparkling, ringing sensation to your notes is now in your hands. Every major method for achieving those hard-hitting harmonics has been covered in this lesson to ensure that you'll be able to play the guitar with more head-turning flair. Natural harmonics can be played by picking the notes, tapping the notes, or by going crazy with your whammy bar. Pinch harmonics can also be really cool to play, with most of the work coming from your picking hand. Most people have a harder time with the pinch harmonics than they do the natural harmonics, so don't get discouraged if you're not getting it right away. It can take a while to get to the point where you're pulling them off every single time, so stick in with it, stay consistent, and before you know it, you'll have so much fun being able to play those whenever you feel like it. And once you've mastered all these different types of harmonics, you'll have so much more fun shredding your axe. Just make sure you've got the right distorted tones, so don't forget to download my free Elite Tones cheat sheet if you have not done so already. It gives you my best tips on how to dial in killer amp tones, and it also shows you how to make digital amp simulators sound like authentic physical amplifiers. It even has direct links to some of my favorite free amp sim plugins. Again, you can find that just by clicking the link in the description or by going to ZachSharGuitar.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach with Zach Shar Guitar. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.